Hi there, welcome to lesson 2 of this HitCML tutorial. If you are watching this lesson 2, I hope you've watched lesson 1. So in this tutorial we're going to be talking about HitCML attributes. So let's dive into it. Before we talk about HitCML attributes, you need to know about the HTML elements, the start tag and the ending tag. So we saw in the previous tutorial what most of those are. We said all HTML tag has a start tag and an ending tag. For example, we have write the tags in angular brackets, write the tag name in the first angular bracket, then we write the content, then we close the tag, and this is how we close a tag name. So this is what an HTML start tag and ending tag looks like. The HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag. This is the HTML element. Okay, for example, if you want to write a heading, and we saw a heading tag is the first heading is written as h1. This is a heading, this is a heading, and we'll close the tag as usual. If you want to write a paragraph, the P tag represents paragraph. This is a paragraph. To close the tag is always very important. Then we'll close the tag. It's always very important to close your tag. So everything in between the start tag and the ending tag is what the element. And if you want to write another heading, you're gonna write something like h2. This is heading 2. This is heading 2. And close heading 2. Close heading 2 with h2. That's how it goes. But if you want to write another paragraph, we don't need to write p2. This is another paragraph, and close the tag. If you want to write another heading, you have to indicate heading 3 because there's already heading 1 and heading 2. So this is heading 3. h3. Close the tag. So that's how it goes. But if you follow from lesson 1, you will notice it's not how to write a HTML tag. Before you write all this, there are some things you need to do. You need to declare the document. So write the doc type declaration for HTML5. Then write the HTML, the root file. That is HTML. Write the root file. That is HTML. Now then we write the body, and the body, this is where all the visible parts is of the document is. Now we have to close these two tags, the HTML, the root tag and the body tag. We have to close them. So we'll do this. Body, close the body tag, and always remember to close the tags. So for a HTML document to display well, you need to put all this into it. We saw what the doc type meant, the HTML tag, and the body tag is the visible parts of the document. So you need to do all this for the document to display well. So talking about closing tags, some HTML tag elements do not contain content, so there may not be any need to put a closing tag. They stand alone because they don't have content in between. And an example of this type of element is the BR tag. What is the use of this BR tag? The BR tag is an empty element with no closing tag. For example, you can come to, let's come to this paragraph, and you can put this tag in here. It shows a line break. So this is a paragraph with a line break. So elements like this that do not have ending tag, if we display this in a browser, you see that there's gonna be a space, there's gonna be a line break here. This is going to continue from the next line. So this is what this tag does. So elements like this that do not have a closing tag are called elements. And in HTML tag elements are not case sensitive. What does that mean? It means that, for example, this, okay, I didn't close this. Okay, for example, it means this paragraph can be written in capital letters or small letters, it doesn't matter, but it's advisable to be written in small letters so that it can be properly rendered. I hope you understand that. So now that we understand what elements and tags are, we can now understand what attributes are. So what are attributes? HTML attribute tells us more about an HTML tag. All HTML elements can have attributes, and this attribute tells us, provide additional information about an HTML tag. Attributes are always specified in the start tag we know what the start tag is. This is the start tag and this is the close tag. So the attributes are always inside this start tag. We're going to see some examples very soon. And attributes usually come in name and value. This is how attributes usually looks like. Come in name, write the name of the attribute, then you write the value of the attribute. That is what it is. So let's take a look at one example. You understand what I am saying more. So let's start with the href attribute. How is this href attribute used? Okay, in HTML links are defined with a tag. There's a tag called the a tag. HTML links are defined by this a tag. The link address is specified in the href attribute. So for example, you want to put a link into your website. So let's close this first. So this is what happens. Like we said, this is a website. So this is how the href attributes work. Like we said, it is always in the start tag. Attributes are always in the start tag of the elements. So we'll put our href, and how did you say it is written? The name of the attributes href, then we put in the value. So let's say we want to put a website, goes there, say www. Let's say okay, our own website, my website.com. Let's use that. So this is how websites are inserted. This is how link address are inserted into a document. So we can copy this, cut it out of here and insert it into our website. We'll open it very soon and see how it looks and paste it here. So if we open up this, we're going to see that this appears as a website. This appears as a website. So that's how the href attributes work. Okay, let's see other examples to understand the attributes, how attributes work. Another attribute used in HTML is the source attribute. And when is this attribute used? Like we said, attribute gives us more information about HTML element. So attributes cannot stand on their own. It has to be used in an element. This attribute cannot be used in a link address. This attribute is usually used in an image, and it tells us the source of the image. So in HTML, to the image tag, is something like this: img. This is the image start tag. This is an image. Okay, but this is an image. Close it. img. Okay, but no image has been displayed. No image can be displayed like this. So what do? If we want to display an image, we'll come into the start tag. Always remember that the attribute is in the start tab, and it comes like name and value, like we said earlier. So the name of the attribute is source. That's the name of the attribute. Equals to what's the value? The value is the image, the name of the image from the source, of that image, the name. For example, image of a lion. Then you put the extension if it's in JPEG or if it's in PNG, for example, PNG. So that is how that is written. So we can take this and put it into our website, Control-V. So this is how the source attribute is used to tell the source of the image. So this is an image. Okay, let's see another example of attribute. Let's see another attribute. There's another attribute that is called the width and height attribute. The width and height attribute, and this is used in image also, and elements can have several attributes. So this width and height attribute helps us to control the width and height of our image. So we have an image here, and we want this image to display in a certain width and a certain height, not bigger than that and not smaller than that. So what do? We come still inside the starting tag and fixing our width and height attribute. So after bringing in the image here, then you want to specify the width and the height. So how do we say attribute work? Write the name of the attribute first, which is width, then the value. So let's say we want this image to be, the width to be 500. That is specified in pixels by default, and we want the height to be 500 also. That is also specified, that is also in pixels by default. So that is what this attribute does. I think you can understand what attributes do now. Okay, there's another attribute you can use in an image, and that attribute is called the alt attribute. The alt attribute specifies an alternative text to be used if an image cannot be displayed. The value of the alt attribute can be read by the screen readers. This way, someone listening to the web page, e.g. a vision impaired person, can hear the element. So that is what this alt attribute does. Like, it's an alternative to the image. Like, for example, when you load a web page and the web page is loading very slow, you get to see where an image is supposed to be displayed. You can see an alternative text in place of the image. This is a lion. So when you see this in the web page, let's say the image is deleted or there's an issue, or for those that vision impaired, that are reading the screen, for screen readers, when they come to this image, since they can't see the image, this will be displayed, and they will know that in that position there is an image of a lion representing this. So this is what this alt attribute does. Like an alternative, is an alternative text to an image in a web page. Sometimes when you load Facebook, for example, or any website where there's an image an image cannot be displayed yet, maybe for slow network or something, you get to see this. Sometimes on Facebook you can see something funny like a man posing or a red car. So you just know that in that place there's an image with a red car. So those are examples. Okay, away from the image attribute, let's see other attribute. There's another attribute called the style attribute. The style attribute is used to specify the styling of an element like color, font, and size. Okay, the style attribute is something like this, always in the starting tag. So let's say, okay, you have a heading and you want to beautify this heading. You can use the style attribute, then style attribute, and you can say you want to change the color of this text. This is a heading, this is heading 2. You want to change the color of this text to, let's say, red. So you can use the style attribute to do that. You can try it. Red. This is how it works. So that is what the style attribute does. You can use it to format text, to beautify, to put color, font, and size. Just like this width and height, you can change the size, you can increase the size of this with the style element. You can change the font, you can put it to Cambriel, New Times Roman, you can use Arial or any other, but we'll just change the text. We're going to see a lot about styling later in this tutorial. We're going to see a lot about styling also in our CSS tutorial, so we're going to learn a lot about that. Let's see another attribute before we go. Very important attribute. The next attribute we're going to be looking at is the language attribute. The language attribute, and it is written like this. So what is the use of this language attribute? The language of a document, for example, can be declared in the HTML tag. This is the HTML tag. So this is where the language attribute goes, and we say it's our attribute always in the start tag. Declaring a language is very important for accessibility applications, screen readers, and search engine. So we say the language attribute goes to the HTML starting tag. And for example, let's say we want to declare this is an English document. So how do we write it? We write the first 2 letters specify the language. If there is a dialect, add 2 more letters. Okay, the first 2 letters of the language specifies the language, and if there is a dialect, for example English, there's British English and there's US English. So let's use US English. So if it's just, you can write just English, but if you want to specify the dialect, you can do something like this and put US. US. So this specifies that this document is in English, and it's not just in English, it is in US English. Those are examples of attributes like we've seen. So let's do a short summary of what we've learned so far in this tutorial. And we also saw the href attribute, and we said the href attribute provide additional information for links. We also saw the width and height attribute, and we said the width and height attribute provide the size information for image. We also saw the alt attribute, we said provide text for screen readers, the alternative text. So I guess that's all for this tutorial. I would like you to like our video, share, subscribe to this channel if you've not, and any question you can comment in the comment section below, and I promise to answer you immediately. So thank you very much. I hope you've learned a lot. Hope this tutorial was helpful. Please like our videos, like this video, I'm sure it was helpful. Subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to be notified when the next video is uploaded. Thank you very much. See you. Cheers.